This video is about being able to, while in PhpStorm, to be able to go right up here and click this browser button and be able to see this. Now, what is this? This is that very same PHP script, but it is running on the server and I am viewing it in my Chrome web browser. Okay, so in this video I'm going to document what it is that is enabling me to do this. Which deployment configurations in PhpStorm are allowing me to be able to do this. You should note that my virtual machine is running, and that's where my web server is. Okay, so here's my virtual machine. It's running, and when I click right up here, I get to see the script running on the web server, which is on my virtual machine. Okay, so here's the meat of this video. I'm going to hit a keystroke here, which will show me the deployment menu. Amongst this menu, I can select the deployment configuration. And here I have two configurations. The first one is for being able to see scripts through PhpStorm and the browser as I have demonstrated. The other configuration is for PhpStorm to be able to use a PHP interpreter. As a matter of fact, these two things actually point, both of them, to my virtual machine and the PHP that is running on that virtual machine. This video just talks about this top one over here, which pertains to being able to see the scripts running in the browser where the output is coming from the web server on the virtual machine. Okay, so how is it configured? Let's see. There's a connection tab, there's a mapping tab, and excluded paths tab. And we are in deployment here. This is the deployment configuration. For this sandbox, the type is going to be in place. Let me just show you what the other types are. There's local, there's SFTP, which is the one actually I'm using for this one. The S stands for SSH or secure. And these are old types of FTP connection. This is secure FTP and this is regular FTP. So this one is just in place. Now, visible only for this project. Okay, I'll choose that because really this URL path is very specific to this project. So let me save that by hitting OK. And let me just test this one more time. Yep, it still works. Okay, so let's go back. So in place means project files are already on locally installed server. And here the keyword is files, because this is talking about deploying the files. In place means the project files are already on a locally installed server. As a matter of fact, the reason it's called locally is these files are actually in my Macs, my iMacs directory. They're right here, okay? It just so happens that this folder, this sandbox folder, is shared with the virtual machine. So in terms of deploying the files, it doesn't need to do anything, and that's why it's labeled in place. Okay, now moving right along. Browse files on the server. Okay, so here I specified this URL for the web server root URL in browse files on server, okay? And this specification right here is actually the key for me to getting this thing to work correctly, because I did get it to work before, but it was kind of a mess, okay? So basically here I just tell, okay, because the web server, the Apache on my virtual machine, the web root actually doesn't point to the actual web root. The web root for my machine, my virtual machine, actually points to VB shared sandbox. It just look up here. It says the path is, well, actually on the machine itself, okay, because it can't see what's on my iMac, but the folders and files in this directory, which is the sandbox directory, these are the ones right under the web root for the virtual machine, the Apache that runs over there. Okay? So if I were not to have this part over here, then it would open the index page over there where I just showed you. Okay? But now I've added the actual path, so I'm basically making the no framework web directory, I'm making that into the web root for the project. Okay, so it's not the actual web root for the actual Apache that's running on my server, but this path is the web root for this project. All right, so the next we go to mappings. For local path, I have the actual path on my iMac going all the way to the web folder. And this is where I was getting it wrong before. I thought, that they're just simply asking for the local path to the project folder. No, it's not the project folder, it's the web folder. So therefore, this path has to end with the word web, because that is my web folder. Now, for web path on server sandbox, I just have this /, because since I already specified the web root, there is no reason for me to add any more subdirectories here. And again, I'll say this, I don't know why it works out this way, but this is just the way which made it work in the most logical way. Now, it's not the absolute most logical, but it's more logical than any other configuration which I was able to make. And that's it for this video.